Welcome back to the American English Podcast. Today, we're diving into another fascinating episode of our American Culture series, where we explore local traditions and habits to make learning English fun and immersive. Here's a surprising fact to get us started. Did you know that Americans consume more ice per person than any other country in the world? In fact, studies suggest that the average American uses over 1 pound of ice every single day, whether it's in sodas, water, or cocktails. That might sound normal if you're from the US, but for many people abroad, it's shocking. Imagine traveling to America, ordering a simple glass of water and receiving a cup filled to the brim with ice cubes, with just a splash of liquid on top. To outsiders, it might seem wasteful or even strange, but for Americans, it's a deeply rooted part of daily life. So today, let's uncover why ice is such a big deal in American drinks and what it reveals about American culture as a whole. So, why is ice such a central part of American drinks? Welcome to the American Culture series here on the American English Podcast, where we learn English through exploring unique cultural habits that make the U.S. so distinctive. The idea is simple. Instead of memorizing vocabulary or grammar in isolation, we'll dive into the cultural details that shape everyday life in America, helping you not only learn English, but also feel the rhythm of how it's spoken in real contexts. Now, today's topic might sound simple, ice and drinks, but it actually tells us a lot about American culture. In the United States, ordering a drink without ice is almost unthinkable. From fast food restaurants to five-star hotels, ice is automatically included unless you specifically ask for no ice. For Americans, it's about freshness, coolness, and even hospitality. A drink served with ice says, "This is refreshing, this is ready for you." But here's the twist. In many parts of Europe, Asia, and Latin America, people drink beverages at room temperature or lightly chilled. For visitors, American-style iced drinks can feel excessive, almost like drinking more ice than liquid. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand the history behind this habit, but also learn cultural expressions and phrases connected to it. So the next time you're in the US, you'll know exactly why your Coke is packed with ice. To understand why ice became such a big deal in America, we need to go back in time. Before modern refrigeration, getting ice was a luxury. In the 1800s, wealthy Americans would cut massive blocks of ice from frozen lakes in the winter and store them in insulated ice houses. This meant that only the rich could enjoy chilled drinks during the summer months. But everything started to change in the late 19th and early 20th centuries with the invention of mechanical refrigeration. Suddenly, ice was no longer just for the wealthy, it became available to everyone. This shift completely changed drinking habits. Imagine walking into an American diner in the 1950s. Your soda wouldn't just be cold, it would be served in a frosty glass packed with ice cubes. This wasn't just about temperature, it was about lifestyle. Cold, refreshing drinks represented modernity, progress, and abundance. Having ice at home, thanks to freezers built into refrigerators, also became a status symbol. Offering guests a cold drink with ice was a way to show hospitality and comfort, as if to say, "We have plenty and we want you to enjoy it." Over time, ice became an expectation rather than an option. It shaped not just what people drank, but how they socialized. Ice was now tied to American identity, a symbol of freshness and convenience that people came to expect every single day. The turning point for ice in American culture came during the mid-20th century when big beverage companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi turned ice into part of the American experience. Their advertisements often showed families, friends, and even celebrities enjoying ice-cold sodas on hot summer days. The message was clear. Ice wasn't just a way to cool your drink, it was a lifestyle, a symbol of fun, refreshment, and togetherness. Fast forward to today, and you'll notice a new trend: the rise of specialty ice. In the world of craft cocktails, ice isn't just frozen water, it's an art form. Think about giant, crystal clear ice cubes, spheres, or crushed ice carefully measured to dilute a drink at just the right speed. Bars across the US actually invest in expensive machines that make slow-melting, flawless ice because it changes the taste and feel of the drink. Even coffee culture has joined in. Iced lattes, cold brews, and frappes dominate menus, all thanks to America's obsession with cold beverages. At this point, ice is no longer just a background detail. It's something people pay attention to, critique, and even celebrate. This shift shows how something as ordinary as frozen water can transform into a cultural icon, reflecting values like comfort, creativity, and even innovation. Today, the way Americans use ice continues to evolve. In everyday life, you'll still find it overflowing in sodas, lemonades, and even simple glasses of water at restaurants. But beyond that, ice has carved out a place in more sophisticated spaces. Craft cocktail bars, for instance, often experiment with different shapes like spheres, sticks, or crushed snow ice, each designed to complement the flavor and pacing of a drink. A large cube melts slowly, keeping whiskey smooth without watering it down too fast, while pebble ice adds a playful crunch to tiki cocktails or iced teas. There's also a growing conversation about health. Some people argue that drinking very cold beverages can be harsh on digestion, and so you'll occasionally meet Americans who prefer light ice or no ice for this reason. Still, these individuals are the minority. Most Americans strongly associate ice with cleanliness and refreshment. Interestingly, ice has even become part of pop culture aesthetics. Just think of Instagram or TikTok videos showing the perfect iced coffee pour, with cubes clinking against the glass. The sound and sight of ice has become tied to ideas of satisfaction, indulgence, and lifestyle. So while ice may seem ordinary, in the US, it's a detail that shapes both taste and image in powerful ways. So, what does all of this tell us about American culture and how it can help you learn English? Ice in drinks may seem like a small detail, but it reveals bigger cultural themes. America's love for abundance, freshness, and convenience. It also shows how something simple can become a symbol of hospitality. When you're served a drink with lots of ice in the US, it's not just about keeping it cold, it's about creating an experience that feels refreshing, generous, and welcoming. From the days when ice was a luxury for the wealthy, to the rise of refrigeration making it accessible to all, to today's craft cocktail scene with designer ice cubes, the story of ice is the story of American innovation and lifestyle. It's proof that culture is everywhere, even in your glass. And for English learners, paying attention to these cultural details does more than teach you vocabulary like ice cubes, on the rocks, or crushed ice. It helps you understand how Americans think, act, and connect. By noticing these small but meaningful habits, you'll sound more natural in conversation and feel more at home in American contexts. So, next time you get a drink in the US and it's filled with ice, you'll know it's more than frozen water. It's a cultural signature. And that's it for today's episode of the American English Podcast, part of our American Culture series. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite drink with ice? Do you love a tall glass of iced coffee or maybe a refreshing soda on a hot day? Drop your answer in the comments below and let's compare notes. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss more lessons where English and culture come together. And don't forget to check out our other videos on American beverage trends and daily habits. You'll not only learn English, but also step deeper into the culture that shapes the language.